Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced his resignation on Monday. However, he will remain in position as Prime Minister and Liberal Party head until the party chooses a new leader to take it into the next election.
Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced his resignation on Monday, saying he would leave office as soon as his party chooses a new leader, with slumping polls and internal division taking their toll. After more than 9 years in power, Trudeau's support within the ruling Liberal Party began crumbling in 2024 due to intensifying public criticism focused on the rising cost of living. A subdued Trudeau told a press conference that he would stay as the Prime Minister until the party chooses a new chief.
I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process. Last night, I asked the President of the Liberal Party to begin that process.
His authority was then shaken by the surprise departure last month of his Finance Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, Chrystia Freeland. Across the country, Trudeau's resignation did not surprise. Trudeau's Liberals are trailing badly in the polls to the opposition Conservatives.
This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election.
Trudeau took office in November 2015 with a message of hope and sunny ways and won re-election twice. But his popularity started dipping 2 years ago as prices of groceries and housing rose in the post-COVID period and his fortunes never recovered. Canadian media have tipped Freeland as a possible Liberal leader. Trudeau has received permission from Canada's Governor-General to suspend all parliamentary business until March 24. That could give the Liberals time to choose a new leader while restricting the opposition's chances to bring a vote of no confidence. Bureau Report, TD India.
And now let's take a look at the timeline of key events tracking Justin Trudeau's tenure over nearly a decade in Canadian politics.
Here is a timeline of key events charting Trudeau's fortunes over nearly a decade in Canadian politics. Justin Trudeau won the leadership of the party in 2013. Trudeau's Liberals won a majority of seats in the federal election in 2015. In December 2017, Canada's Ethics Commissioner ruled Trudeau had broken conflict of interest rules by accepting a vacation, gifts and flights from the Aga Khan in 2016. In February 2019, former Justice Minister Jody Wilson-Raybould alleged that government officials improperly pressured her to assist SNC-Lavalin in evading a corruption trial. In August 2019, the Ethics Commissioner ruled Trudeau and his officials had breached some ethical rules. Trudeau took responsibility but refused to apologize. In 2019, shortly after election campaign began, photos emerged of Trudeau wearing blackface when he was younger. Trudeau apologized, saying his life of privilege had come with a blind spot. In August 2020, Finance Minister Bill Morneau resigned amid friction with Trudeau over how much funding was needed to help Canada recover from the pandemic. In September 2021, Trudeau triggered a national vote for September 20th, 2021, but was returned with a second successive minority. In June 2024, in a clear sign of the Liberals' growing unpopularity, the party lost one of its safest seats in a special election in Toronto. In September 2024, the New Democrats announced they would withdraw their automatic support. On December 16, 2024, Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland resigned after Trudeau asked her to take a lesser position, taking away one of his most loyal allies. On December 20th, 2024, a formal motion of no confidence was presented. And finally, on January 5, 2025, Trudeau announced to step down once the Liberal Party chooses a replacement. Bureau Report, TD India.
All right, indeed, India's Anil Thomas joins us from Delhi on this. Well, Anil, Justin Trudeau's announcement that he would step down as Canada's Prime Minister was expected after he faced political struggles in recent months. Apparently, after 9 years of remaining in power, a lot of bickerings had begun since last year. What led to his downfall?
Good morning, Lipakshi. Well, this particular turmoil that Justin Trudeau in particular was facing within the Liberal Party was very much evident since the time, the last minister resigned in the midst of December. It was almost expected that this is coming. Firstly, his own ratings falling. His own ratings when he started off was as good as 63%, which has plummeted to a low of 30%. That's the first big reason, one could say. Secondly, his party going to polls in October is looking at, public rating of close to 16 to 18%. That's one of the lows that Liberals have ever hit when it comes to, finding the mood of the people. Thirdly, international relations, especially with US and Trump's coming in and Trump indicating time and again on more tariffs, more sanctions on, especially from imports from Canada. Almost 25%, the rising cost of living, the inflation that's affecting internally Canada. So reasons, both external and internal, have led to led to a position where Trudeau was finding it difficult or untenable to continue in office. I think it's the right call that he's done, but then it's a call when even when he's resigned, he's taken a jab at the opposition. So indicating that the Liberals are not ready to go down with a fight. But I think now to find an interim leader before the elections in October this year looks very difficult, though there are 5 to 6 frontrunners within the party. All ministers who have worked, who are a part of the cabinet of Justin Trudeau. But the writing was on the wall for Trudeau, with both external and internal factors working against him. And I think it was high time. It was expected a day before. I think he's managed to delay it for 24 hours. But coming on Monday night Indian time, it was very much evident that the going was tough for him. He thought it is better to resign and maybe become the interim Prime Minister of Canada.
All right, Anil, as you said that finding a new leader will be very, very difficult. He will be the caretaker Prime Minister till his successor is chosen. Now, how will the Liberal Party choose a new leader, and what next is the big question right now?
Well, Lipakshi, that's where the catch-22 situation is. There are close to 6 contenders there, as I mentioned, various ministers who work with him. The front runner could be the minister who resigned in December. But having said that, one also needs to factor in the Trump era coming in the United States and, the fear of more tariffs being imposed on Canada, almost 25%. And I think that's going to break Canada's back in the first place. So one, you'll have to find a candidate who's very much who's having a good network where he can connect with Trump and his administration. That's the first lookout. Secondly, they have till March to find a candidate within themselves, the Liberal Party. And as I mentioned, 6 contenders, the numbers increasing with every passing day. It was 5 when Trudeau resigned. There's an addition to it, 6th a member joining, that Minister of Innovation also joining the race. So it becomes even more difficult for the simple reason now you'll have to choose a leader within yourself. One, that's the bigger question. The second is you are heading for elections in October. So whoever is leading the Liberal Party now, or whoever is the consensus candidate that the Liberal Party finds, he has to take the party to polls. And having, as I mentioned, having said that, the numbers for the Liberals and Justin Trudeau falling, that's the reason Trudeau resigned. So the numbers suddenly won't go up for the Liberals in a span of, say, 6 months' time. So it's a very tough call that the party needs to make. There is a lot of rebellion within the Liberal Party itself, and that's something that's coming as a blessing for the opposition. That's the Conservatives. But we'll have to wait and watch who the Liberals first, pass the baton to, firstly lead the leadership, secondly become the Prime Minister, and then also go into elections with the same face. So it's a tough call that the Liberals need to make, but I think it will be something that is, they cannot skip at this point of time with Trudeau resigning. You'll have to find a face that is acceptable, one, within the party, because there is a lot of rebellion within. Secondly, you'll have to make the person or the Prime Minister who's chosen to be liked by the people, because in 6 months' time you have elections. So it's a tough call, I think, but it's a bullet you will have to bite for the Liberals, at least at this point of time.
Really a tough call for the Liberals there. Thank you so much, Anil, for all those details.